Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'm actually sitting right now in a truck that I will be bringing to the channel soon, and I am so excited to bring this particular vehicle to the channel. I might be the only one excited to bring it to the channel, so this is going to be a really polarizing vehicle. Check back with the channel because I will be showing you what I'm sitting in just a short while. This upload today is not about this truck. It is about the BOSS 302 TR and why we destroyed a perfectly good BOSS 302 to make it a track ready 302.
This is why we're out here today.
Nope, this is why we're here today, to discuss 5 reasons why we turned a BOSS 302 into a track ready BOSS 302. So sit back, grab your favorite beverage as I present a high school quality PowerPoint presentation on the 5 reasons why we turned a BOSS 302 into a BOSS 302 Track Ready Edition. Without question, the greatest asset of the BOSS 302 is the Road Runner engine. This engine, straight from the factory, is another example of how Ford has knocked it out of the park with their naturally aspirated Coyote engines and Coyote variants. The most impressive aspect of this engine is its reliability, and I've stressed that so many times on this channel, but when it comes to road racing, reliability is paramount. We've been tracking this car long before we turned it into the BOSS 302 Track Ready Edition, and this engine has taken punishment after punishment, track day after track day. Considering this vehicle sees 6 or 7 20 to 30 minute sessions per track day, you really begin to realize how much abuse really adds up on these engines. With the addition of the Cobra Jet air intake, throttle body, intake manifold, cams, Cook's headers and exhaust, and the timing components from MMR, the car absolutely feels incredible. This is one of my favorite engines I've ever had out at the racetrack. When deciding which car in the garage to turn into a dedicated track vehicle, this was one of the biggest attributes going for the BOSS 302. We knew we had a perfect platform in the Road Runner engine. Now, let me be very clear as to why I'm putting the MT82 on this list. And it's not because it's an attribute or a reason why we wanted to turn this car into a track-ready vehicle. The MT82 made this list because we were looking forward to replacing this transmission with something more stout, something that could handle the quicker shifts at higher RPMs. I can very quickly sum up my feelings on this transmission. In my opinion, this transmission doesn't do this Roadrunner engine any justice, especially at high RPM shifting. This is our third MT82 in this car. There are no more spare transmissions lying around the shop, so when this one goes, we finally move on to something bigger and better. Third time has been a charm so far. The MGW shifter eliminated the remote shifter linkage, which make the shifts more precise and feel a little bit more like a gated manual transmission. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The domino effect. Oh, we'll just modify this and then we'll be done. You know what? We can just add this and then we'll stop. Once you start modding your car, you don't stop. Especially if you're taking it to the drag strip or the track, trying to beat times or competing against someone else. Looking back, the first flaw of the BOSS 302 that we noticed on track was the amount of body roll going into and coming out of a corner. We decided the first modification to the vehicle would be to install coilovers and a Watts link to start the suspension improvements. From that point, it was all downhill from there. What do I mean by downhill? I mean that once we found out the chassis could handle more power, that's when we moved to install the Cobra Jet components in the engine. Then, once we had more power, we realized we might need to do a little bit more tweaking to the chassis, which inevitably leads us to our next point, the Watson Road Race Roll Cage. This was the inevitable next step in designing the suspension and chassis for this car. We had pushed the limits of the streetable version of this BOSS 302, and the logical next step was to take weight out of the car. The roll cage inspires confidence to drive this car at increasing rates of speed. The roll cage also enables the vehicle to be entered into competition, as it is a competition-ready cage. So if we ever want to get real drivers or professional drivers to drive the car in competition, it will be ready to go. The first concern in any motorsport or road racing is safety, and this roll cage definitely takes care of that prerequisite. The vehicle has also been seam welded. With the combination of the road race roll cage, it really does ride and drive like a go-kart. Turn-in is unbelievable, although I'm looking forward to the spherical bearing replacements in many of the suspension components. What little body roll remains will be virtually eliminated. This last point was the dominating factor in our decision. A lot of people have asked, why did you destroy what appears to be a perfectly good BOSS 302? The simple answer, 2 previous owners already did. The original owner took this car drag racing. That was his primary focus, so the car was set up to go drag racing. Different intake manifolds were experimented with, tunes, fuels, etc. The second owner, who we purchased this car from, took the car road racing. He integrated many of the road race suspension components with the drag race components, hence the identity crisis. This car did not know what its primary focus was. When we were looking for a car to mod to take to the track, we knew we wanted a used car. When we found this BOSS, we knew we had a great platform to start with the Roadrunner. We didn't feel guilty about taking apart a BOSS 302. There was nothing to fear when we unsealed the engine to do the cams and timing set components. It was pristine, clean, no issues whatsoever. The destiny or fate for this car, if there is such a thing, was for it to go full race car. Let's take a minute and review the 5 reasons why we took our BOSS 302 and transformed it into a BOSS 302 TR, or Track Ready Edition. The Roadrunner engine. Its related reliability? A+. We couldn't be happier with the way this engine performs on track, not only with its linear power delivery, but with the way it stays cool and doesn't lose horsepower through long 20 or 30-minute sessions. The MT82 transmission. It's like swallowing a Molotov cocktail. I know there are people who really love the MT82 transmission, and I know it has its merits, we just haven't had very good experiences. The domino effect. This one is self-explanatory. One mod leads to another mod, leads to another mod. If you're watching this channel, you already know exactly what I mean. The road race roll cage. With as often as we were going tracking, we knew safety was primary concern. The roll cage is competition ready, it is safe, and it's orange. Because orange car needs more orange. Lastly, our biggest determining factor in turning our BOSS 302 into a track-ready vehicle was the issue of the identity crisis. 2 previous owners put this car through a major identity crisis. The first owner went drag racing with it, the second owner went road racing with it. With the Frankenstein combination of parts, we would be the deciding factor which way this car would ultimately be built. We chose this car to be a full road race car, and we have no regrets. Thank you so much for watching, and I just wanted to show you here a few clips. We are finally getting our race garage situated. We are getting things cleaned up, organized. It's easier to get to a race day and back knowing where everything is. We have our 2-ton engine hoist cherry picker. We've got an engine stand, transmission stand. Again, we have big projects for 2020, so we're getting some of our tools. Well, you know what? I say we've got big projects, we've got big aspirations. We'll see what we can actually get done, but at the very least, we're getting our tools back to the garage. Real quick, I just wanted to show you the new track system on the trailer is working out perfectly. We'll be using this a lot in 2020. We're really excited we installed it. Thank you so much again for watching. We'll see you on the next upload.